Hi, my name's Allison. I decided to do this YouTube. I had a lot of people that inspired me to do it. My sister and my mom, for one, and my husband, who had said I should be telling my story to people. I already have. I've spoken at places like Temple University in Philadelphia. I'm from PA. And I spoke for a friend at a networking place that he's involved with and a member, trying to get the word out. So I figure my next bet is YouTube. Um, I've seen so many videos of all of you and who have Lyme disease, and my heart goes out to you. Um, you were so very brave, and just know that my support and prayers are with all of you as well. Um, I'm basically up right now. It's 6:17 a.m. and I can't sleep, which is a huge part of Lyme disease. It's one of the many symptoms. There are so many symptoms. People don't realize it, and a lot of it, Lyme disease is called the great imitator because it imitates many different diseases. Um, I got diagnosed when I was 11, or not diagnosed when I was 11. I got sick when I was 11, and I got diagnosed with like 5 different things throughout my entire life. Got pulled out of school from 7th to 12th grade. You know, um, there was a point, where, I finally said to myself, you either have a life or you don't have a life. So, I was young. I didn't understand what was going on with me. I was 14 years old. But at that time, I said, when my sister would, ask me out to hang out with her friends, I would hang out with her friends. You know, um, it wasn't the same. I wasn't with my own class of kids, and um, I had gotten sick when I was in 7th grade, and I was a cheerleader and living my typical life of a teenager and having a blast. And just we went on vacation, and I got sick on vacation. It was down south, and we think that's where I got bit. I never saw a bite, never saw a rash. I had had a flu for about 3 weeks. My mom had called a doctor. They told her to wait it out. Sorry if I'm not talking right now. Just took a pain pop a little bit ago. I wasn't allowed of it. Um, they just told her to ignore it. So, they said it was viral and to wait it out. So we waited out, and I got better. But over that period of time, I started developing migraines. Uh, we didn't really think much of it. My mom and her side of the family have a lot of history of migraines. So it wasn't something that we, even thought of at the time that it could be something like Lyme disease. Uh, Never went camping. I wasn't a woodsy type of girl. I would quote what you call princess. So I, wasn't like that. By the time 8th grade came, I was so bedridden and tired and sick with my migraines, fatigue, and my mom pulled me out of school. I couldn't function. I couldn't understand some of the stuff. I was like a B average student, and my grades were slipping in a lot of classes. Couldn't comprehend things. Couldn't stay awake in class. Felt like I couldn't pay attention to anything. I spent half my time in the nurse's office, so that's kind of when my parents just decided to pull me out of school. So that was from 7th through 12th. I had a somewhat good period, and I tried to go to college, community college. I knew there was no way I could go to a university. Um, Same thing, couldn't concentrate. I had a lot of phobias going on at the time, and I didn't understand them. I really just thought there was something crazily wrong with me. Um, and when I was 17, I had a grand mal seizure. Uh, the funny thing was, I had one and never had another one. My Lyme literate doctor that I now see really thinks that was my Lyme disease, and I was having neurologic reaction to it. Um, I had been under a lot of stress during that time. We were fighting my school over prom. They wouldn't let me go to my prom. It was a whole big mess. Yeah. And So I think the stress might have set it off. She said, stress can do that with Lyme disease. There are so many symptoms that I can't even, you know, tell you all of them, but they mimic so many other diseases, which is what's so hard. And the facts that most people don't know is that the blood work isn't accurate. And that's a frustrating thing for people with Lyme because a lot of the time they come up with a negative result and move on and go see doctors and doctors and doctors. And then 10 years down the line, they're so sick and they're handicapped and, you know, and completely disabled that they, at that point, they're so sick. And so then they end up having to, finally see a Lyme literate doctor. And by that point, it's chronic. I do have chronic Lyme. I have encephalitis from the Lyme. I currently now weigh 108 pounds. I was 125 about 4 months ago. Right now, I'm awake, which is a normal thing for Lyme patients at night. It's about like 6:30 a.m. Around here in PA, and I can't sleep. It's just like a normal thing. I even took a pain pop hoping that would knock me out, but it just hasn't. So I've been inspired to talk to people by my family and a couple people here on the internet. And I'm hoping that I can talk more to all of you, and especially the people with Lyme. My heart goes out to you, and I'm hoping to just spread the word and talk more about this. I talked at Temple University not so long ago, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it amazes me that our medical community, the ones that are being sent to medical school, really don't know the true facts about Lyme. They only know so much, and it's scary because they need to know more and they need to know the right information. And this movie Under the Skin, if you haven't heard about it, you got to go see it. Something everybody should see, especially if you have kids and you have a family. I never saw my bite. I never saw my rash. They can be the size of the top of a pin. They're extremely tiny. So if I was bit, I wouldn't even known it. I was down at the beach at the time when I got sick down south in South Carolina. So that's where we think I got sick. But I guess this is good for tonight. I will probably be back and I'll tell you a little bit more about my story. But I'm starting to actually feel sleepy, and I've been sitting here doing fluids. I have what you call a PICC line. I don't know if you can see it. It's like in the most awkward position right now. But I have a PICC line, and it goes all the way, to my heart, and it just gives me out my IV medication a lot quicker. I did the orals, and it worked for a good amount of time, but it stopped working. And I went out of remission again. And I think the best part, though, about finding my Lyme disease doctor, I got a diagnosis. I knew what was wrong with me. I didn't feel crazy anymore. There's a lot of psychological stuff that goes with Lyme as well, neurologic. It's a whole big thing. It's it's becoming an epidemic, and people need to know it's becoming an epidemic. I've had this PICC line, and a lot of people look at it and say it's scary, but it doesn't bother me. I feel more guilty and worried more about my family. We live with my parents, me and my husband, and it's hard for them to see me go through this, and my sister, and I worry more about them, to be honest, and So anyway, I think I'm almost going to be done here talking. It's probably going to cut me off soon. So I'll check in and give you a little more of my details in my story later. My cat's bugging me to go. I think she wants to go to bed. So I'm going to finish doing my fluids of my IV and try to get some sleep. So good night to everybody, and it was nice meeting you all. And again, my name's Allison. And anytime you want to contact me on here or my website at www.wordpress.com.